All right, let's see. I am back. Let me see. Let's get the notification going. They be shutting my shit down now, y'all. Seriously. Hey, everybody. How you guys doing? Hey. How are you guys doing? Okay. All right, we back. And then y'all know, and then when I click back on, hey Didi, when I click back on, it says resume. I resume, but then anyway, whatever. Y'all know when we getting into some shit when they start shutting down shit. Okay. Okay, so let me just check email over here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I wanted to make sure. Okay, close. It is saying that my battery only have 20%. So let me just make sure that we are charging. All right. Okay, so we have 7 people join back in. Okay, Latasha is here. Hi, everybody. So now what's going on now? The next thing that's happening now, so I'm not sure how much of this message I'm going to be able to get out. The next thing that's happening now is that it's telling me that my phone is not charging, right? So I know, yeah. What was I talking about? It's the most. Well, oh, I know what I was talking about. I was starting to tell you guys some stuff about how you can tap into shit. That's what we were talking about, and then they shut me down. Does anybody remember what I was saying? I don't remember what I was saying. I think I was telling you guys to pay attention to. Um, yeah, we were talking about the binary numbers. I think I was telling you guys about your sun gazing and tapping into your third. Okay, woo, boom. Okay, so with this new moon and with the full moon, some of you can experience your dreams are more heightened. Okay, something about noisy energy coming in. Okay, nosy energy. Okay, I don't remember. See how they just shut Nipsey. Boom. Thank you. Okay. Boom. We were talking about Nipsey. I was explaining to you guys that when Nipsey transitioned, the energy was so thick. Okay. Your birthday's the 27th. Oh. So you're like Thursday. Happy birthday. Happy upcoming birthday. Um when Nipsey transitioned, that his energy was just really present, so present that at one point Kelly and I had to stop and ask if there were any channels or any messages coming through. There was just so much, and I'm not like although like that industry is something that I've worked in, I'm still not up, with all of the new stars and stuff. So it's interesting to me that he even showed up in my YouTube queue on my YouTube, because I don't look at that stuff. But stuff just kept coming up with him, and his channel was coming through when he transitioned. Another one that was coming through too. So let me just tell y'all who I personally can say that I have channeled. Reverend Knight came through. Michael Jackson, Tupac, Whitney, um, uh, um, Luther. Now, let me tell y'all how you can tap into Kimoy. People are in the live previously. Oh, really? Oh, they're still in the other live. That one got shut down, Trudy. I literally just ended that one. It's the retrograde. It's doing some weird stuff with the retrograde. Mona said 7:44. Mona, I don't think I wrote down 7:44, Mona. That's the time too? Okay, 7:44. I'm going to write that down because I have 444, but 7:44. I'm going to write that down. Okay, what the Jasmine said. All right. Um, let me say something, Heem, because we were talking about channels, and just for anybody that's on, we're talking about spiritual things here now, right? One of the ways that you can tell that you have maybe even someone like a relative or a friend, or you have someone coming through, right? Me personally, how I know I have someone coming through, or someone is being channeled, a few things. So If it's somebody that's coming through, a past relative or somebody that's coming through, my indication to let me know someone that's coming through that's past or relative would be I smell the hospital. Okay, I smell like you know how the hospital have a very distinct odor. That's what comes through first. A very distinct odor comes through, like an odor of the hospital. I'll smell the odor of the hospital, right? And then once I get the odor of the hospital, whoever I'm supposed to reach out to, that person is just going to be in my spirit. That person is just going to be in my spirit. They're just going to be in my spirit, okay? So if I'm supposed to reach out to him, which is why it's a distinct smell. Yeah, I'm not an hospital person either, but that has a very distinct smell, and that's how energies from the other side come through to me. I smell that first. Now, if it's not people that I know, that's, I smell that first, and then the person that they want me to you get lights. Okay, Dee Dee says she gets lights. I see lights too, Dee Dee. Like I see flickers of lights. But I don't always know if that's like for me the indication of the hospital, because I always have lights all around me. Like my angels and my guys, they're active. Like they be having light shows in here and shit. Okay, so they pretty active. So for me, the indication is Band-Aid and rubbing alcohol. Really, Sam? The indication for me would be the hospital smell. So I'll smell the hospital smell, and then whoever they want me to communicate to, all of a sudden that person will just be my spirit. That person, I just can't stop thinking about that person. And then usually what at that point what happens is I will ignore that for a couple of days. Okay, Kelly Kells will tell you, and depending where I am and if I don't want to be bothered, it will be longer than a couple of days. I will ignore that. Okay, if I don't feel like being bothered, I will just simply say not today, not today. Okay, and I'll shut it down, because you can't shut down the energy. I want you guys to understand this too. There is no energy, right, that can harm you unless you give it power to. This is why you have to build up your spiritual sovereignty and your spiritual muscles, okay? Because you can control all of the energy. There's no energy that can harm you unless you give it power to. When somebody's coming through, my energy will rise, okay? Real high inside my body's like becoming, oh, is it kind of like, is it kind of like a vibration heme? Do you feel like your like a buzzing going through your body? Is like, can you feel like an energetic surge or a buzzing going through your body? Because I have those surges also. But I have those surges also, but I have those surges like when I'm in the Akashic field. Like I have those when I'm dead smack in an Akashic field, like tapping into, somebody's past presence. Dandelion. Oh, okay, Bree is saying dandelion. Okay, winter lady. Oh, okay, flickering lights. Oh, okay, Bree. Flickering lights. I see also too. I get a lot of flickering lights. I'll walk into the bathroom and like my kids would say to me, "Mommy, what's wrong with the lights?" I'll walk into the bathroom and the lights will go out. Like it'll just completely go out and then they'll come back on. Um, you know. Um, yeah. Okay. So for me, it'll smell like hospital, and then the person's name will constantly come through. And then once I do contact the person of who I'm supposed to be communicating with, at that point, um, the person that has transitioned will give me things about their interaction and about their relationship that I have no clue of, that I don't know, that won't make sense to me. But as I'm communicating with that other person, it registers to them. So they have confirmation that I can't validate because I don't have that relationship, but they're able to validate. So that's how ancestors and stuff will come through to me. Like people that has just recently transitioned will come through that way. I will have the hospital smell. um for ancestors though, like, and for like, ancient ancestors and like my spirit guides and stuff, I hear a lot and I may see shapes and stuff, but a lot of that more is a hearing and a feeling, a hearing and a feeling. When I do start speaking into my spiritual language, or you could call it tongues, you can call it light language, whatever, I can feel a deeper connection with my ancestors. It kind of like I can feel all of them like crowd the room, like I just a bit, they just crowd the room. That's why I always say I don't fuck with I don't mess with the sacredness of this. And sometimes I don't even like to boast of how protected I am. I just say don't come for me because you're not just coming for me. Like, it's not just me. You may only see me, but it's not just me. Like, I am fucking protected. Please believe that, right? So I don't take this lightly. You know, this is something that's very sacred to me. It's something that's very real to me, although you can't see the energy. Please, yeah, Bree say they be lined up. Yeah, Bree, they do. They do. They be lined up. Um, you get a lot of shadows. You know, you want to know something, Heem? I've been seeing shadows like out in the cul-de-sac too. I don't, and that's another thing that we can probably talk about in one of our videos, our spiritual videos. So we'll do some spiritual videos. Is the jinns? Heem, have you ever heard of jinn energy? I don't know if you ever heard. Okay, so let me. Okay, so let me drop another nugget to show you how deep this can go. Okay, now I want you guys to understand that we produce or we can create entities, okay? You can create your own entities. You can create entities based on love, putting out positive energy, or you can create entities based on fear, okay? So let me give you a perfect example, right? Say, for example, any habit that you feel is a bad habit that you try to create, right? You've created and you try to get rid of the habit and you find it very difficult. It's like you feel like something is fighting against you. That is because you've created an entity, you've created an energy, right? And no energy or no entity wants to get snuffed out or wants to be, put out or wants to die, right? Now, what you also need to keep in mind is that energy doesn't die, it transforms, okay? So really, thought, exactly. See, Mona, I don't know if y'all see that. Mona said thought creates formed entities, okay? Now, not every entity has a flesh on it, right? Because we live in a energetic world. We live in a world of vibration and frequencies, right? The more dense the vibration and frequency is, the more you can see it in this third dimensional realm, okay? The more you can see it in this third dimensional realm. So I want you guys to understand everything, every thought, every word, everything has a vibration. It has a signature, okay? With that being said, this is why you can see people getting depressed when they try to get out of something, because if you are not strong enough and you're not able to master your emotions, master your minds, and master your feelings, these entities can attack you. Right? And they can attack you through procrastination. They can attack you through low self-esteem. They can attack you through self-sabotage. Okay? There's so much. Okay? Oh, okay. Okay. Mona said, okay, all right. Now, Mona, let me tell you what I personally do, Mona, right? One of the things that I do is I kind of program my internal self. So when all of those, let's say those thought forms that I may created that was fear-based, right? Or thought forms that I may created that was, not full of self-worth, that I've now, okay, I've gained my self-worth, right? How they creep back in, right? It could creep back in through people, right? These entities could attach themselves to people. So remember how we talk about everything, okay, check above Chris and, okay, let me see. Dee Dee said, how do you start speaking light language? Was this an awakening with it, or was it just natural one day? Okay, good question, Dee Dee. Okay, then I'm going to get to Chris' question. With the light language, Dee Dee, what happened was I went into prayer one day. I was studying, and maybe this is giving too much information, but I kind of feel like I have to share this so people can learn, right? Years ago, I want to say over 10 years ago, Dee Dee, I had a girlfriend that was going to church, and she kept on telling me that I was a prophetess, right? I've never heard of a prophetess. All I knew is that I can see things, I can hear things, and she kept on saying, you're a prophetess, you're a prophetess, you're a prophetess. the way that I function, I just don't like to do something, Dee Dee. I like to research it. I like to get my bearings on it. I like to understand it. Before I can teach a thing, I need to feel like I understand it. So I joined this organization that taught you of the gift of prophecy. So I went back to a Bible-based church that teach metaphysics, and they teach the hidden sciences, occult sciences, based on the Bible. So the stuff that you were reading in the Bible, they pulled the veil back. Okay, so it wasn't just you reading a word like. In that, I'm not going to give the name of the organization, but if anybody wants it, you can email me, and I won't put it on here. But that organization, that was a church organization, that was Bible based, that's where I got a lot of my foundation and my breaking down. That was the first. Yeah, my email, the same number as the same channel, the name of my channel, Dee at gmail.com, for your inner voice at gmail.com. Right. I had to wind up leaving the organization because the more you grow and expand in your spirituality, anything that keeps you confided or boggled down, you know that's not spirit. Anything that keeps you trapped in fear, anything that keeps you feeling stuck, that is not spirit. You are not supposed to feel stuck, trapped, and like you cannot move. Spirit does not open like that. Spirit is free, okay? You're supposed to be able to express and expand. Spirit is free, right? Okay. Hey, Samantha Smith, how are you, my love? Dee Dee, I went to the organization. This organization basically taught me that the devil was not real. The devil was an illusion, and everything is reversed. And how I was supposed to look at the devil was supposed to look, we flip it. He taught us, flip the word devil, and what do you get? And you got lived. So he started to show as above so below. But when you have a reflection of something and it's on the opposite, it can be misconstrued, right? So he started to teach us things that were in the Bible-based things, to show us about the truth of who we are, which was basically we're energetic beings, okay? And how to take our power back, and how our words and our feelings give vibration. And within this particular class, or this particular organization, he taught a lot of secrets. He did. And I have to say, the higher up that you went in this, he would teach you magic. Like the higher up you went, because everything is fucking magic. Okay, if you could think of a person and they call you 5 minutes later, you're exercising your magical powers. Okay. So long story short, in that organization, when I started to express myself, the language started coming out. But when it started coming out, it did not sound like the tongues they were speaking in church, right? It sounded more like an archaic language. I can't explain it, but if you've had any of my meditation classes, you've heard my language, okay? So I can't explain it. It's definitely a different language. It's not exactly tongues, but it started off just with me praying, and the language just broke out. Now, when I had my awakening, Dee Dee, I felt like I was separated from my body for 3 days, like maybe 3 or 4 days. I literally felt my spiritual body detached from my physical body, and it was floating. I felt like I was literally floating for 3 or 4 days. Like my feet were not even touching the ground when this started to unfold. And this was maybe 10 or 15 years ago, right? And now that I've gained more understanding, that was when my Kundalini energy started to activate. That was when my Kundalini started to activate. That's when my pineal gland started to activate. That's when I started to come online. And that's really when I started to be prepared so I can be here with you guys today. That started to prepare me to be here with you guys today, because that shattered a whole bunch of shit that I learned in church. And it was interesting to me, Dee Dee, because there was this church man teaching this stuff. So this was a pastor teaching us the real Bible, right? So he was teaching us the shit that they were being taught in seminary school, not the shit that you get taught to the pews, okay, or to the congregation. Like, he was teaching us truth. And that's when my journey began. And then once I learned the truth, and what I noticed, Dee Dee, let me say this. What I noticed, however, Dee Dee, before I got to that organization, my spirit had already led me to books and different people that he was using as references. So I knew at that point, once I gained the knowledge from him and I got all the books, and that's how my fucking library grew, because he put me onto some shit. I had to transition, like I said, because anything that makes you feel confident in your spirituality is not real. Anything that makes you feel oppressed and that you cannot be free in the spirit and the love that exists for everybody, that is not of God, that is not of source, that's not true expression of the creator, of the of the created. Okay? So just know that. This week has been about I find myself crying more when yep. And can I tell y'all something? Let me just put y'all mystics up on something right here, right? If you are ever in a bind, okay? If you are ever in a fucking bind and you do not know what to say, and you do not know how to tackle that, and you know how to speak some tongues, or you know your light language, or you know your ancient archaic language, start speaking that language. If you are, there's a scripture that says, you may not know how it says through the I can't remember. It says through the moans and the muttering or something like that. If you may not be able to understand it, but please understand your spirit is vibrating. Okay, speak your archaic language. No, you are breaking and shattering things when you do that, and you're calling your ancient ancestors and all of your help into being, because they understand it. You may not physically understand it, but they understand it. Okay. Okay, Chris's question. Let me get to Chris's question because my battery's about to die. Chris, I think I saw Chris' question in all caps because Chris usually put his question in caps. Chris, could you copy and paste your question again? I can't see it. Okay, sorry, I found the Chris. What about seeing a white owl at night flying in my path, and also bats, like they're down on me when I come through the house. Okay, so Chris, um, so you want to Google the spiritual meaning of the owl, okay? You want to Google the spiritual meaning of the owl, Chris, okay? Now, this is what I'm going to tell you guys about when you're researching spiritual stuff. When you Google the spiritual meaning of the owl, do not go with the first one if it does not resonate with you. You have to go, move on, okay? Your spirit is going to let you know. Guys, listen, truth recognizes truth, okay? Truth recognizes truth. Don't nobody got to tell you something and tell you it's true. If it's true, your spirit will resonate with it and it will capture it, okay, Chris? So as you're researching the spiritual meaning of the owls, all right, grab the message it's trying to give to you. It's messages. Do not put in spiritual meaning of owls, okay? It's going to give you the message, and it's going to, whatever resonates with you, that's what you want to grab. Now, you also want to pay attention to the flying at night, because flying, whenever you're flying, that means that you are aware, you're above things, you can take perspective, okay? Now, also, depending on, where you are, Chris, night could mean that you can't see, right? But night can also mean out of darkness comes light. It could mean awareness, right? Owls have night vision, flying above the darkness with the owl vision. You can see shit that most people can't see, Chris. So this is how you start to get into shit. You start to think metaphysically. You have to plant yourself into the analogy of decoding the message. Everything is fucking symbols. We live in a world of symbols. Everything is symbols. Everything is symbols. The car that you drive is symbol. The TV commercials and the channels that you watch, they're all symbols. Everything is symbols. Okay, Chris? So the owl can spin their head around and observe everything. Okay, so the owl can rotate its head, Chris. So there you can see peripheral everything, right? Not only that, at night, the owl has night vision, so it can see normal shit at night that normal people can't see. It's flying, so it has a bird's eye view, vision of everything, okay? I don't remember what bats mean, but you definitely want to check out the spiritual meaning of bats, okay? And the house, Chris, represents you. You are the house. You are the sacred house, okay? So put it together. Go research the bats, go research the owls, and see what gravitates towards you. And just remember the night, okay? Night vision. Out of darkness comes light. Information is coming through, and you're flying above shit. Okay, you have peripheral vision. All right. I hope that was helpful, Chris. Okay. Chris says when I go outside at night, that's when I see them. Okay. But Chris, can I say something to you? We already talked about that. You know you are a shaman. You already know that. We talked about that, Chris. You are a shaman. Speak to them owls, speak to the owl, speak to the bat, speak to them. And Chris, you don't have to verbally It's not something that you have to say out loud. You can speak to them intuitively and they will speak back, Chris. You are a shaman. You know that. We talked about what you're here to do, Chris. We talked about that already. Okay. All right, Chris. So I'm gonna start doing more spiritual videos so maybe you can help tap into that. Okay. What I can suggest for now, Chris, is quiet time, meditation, and journaling. Okay. Sometimes just writing it out so you can get out of your head. Write it out so you can get out of your head. Okay. And meditation is going to be key. And you got a lot of ancestors rocking with you too. So you gotta, yeah, you're going to have, and I'm gonna be real honest with you, Chris. You're gonna have to get your meditation game, Chris. Is gonna it's gonna have to be tight, Chris. Like real talk. I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? You the type of dude, because of where you are and what you have to bring in this realm, you need a meditative practice every day. I'm not saying it got to be all day, Chris, but even the first 15 minutes of your day, you need to find time to center yourself, Chris, okay? Yeah, you need to do that, Chris, because you rocking with a lot of power, and we talked about that. But you need to find time to come into yourself, okay? Uh-huh. See, and you feeling things, right? And we talked about that was coming back. And can I tell you something, Chris? The more that's going to unfold. The more you wake up to your powers, the more whoever was trying to oppress it, watch what comes back, okay? And we talked about some of that behind the scenes already. But you're going to have to find some quiet time, dude. Right? Like, I'm serious. You're going to have to, even if it's not like sitting there, like doing this, even if it's 15 minutes, just writing out your thoughts, Chris, right? Just writing it out. You're going to have to find a way to connect with your spirit. That's going to be important, okay? All right. I can feel that makes me nervous for them. Okay, what did I miss? Um, okay, Dee Dee said something makes her nervous. You're welcome, Chris. Okay, I totally missed what y'all was talking about. Trudy said, oh, okay, yeah, okay, yes. And Sam, we've talked about the Hawks, and Sam is very aware when the Hawk shows up. Sam knows when those Hawks shows up. Sam, when my Hawk shows up, Sam, my Hawks represents protection for me. I don't know if I told y'all about my hawk story, but I don't know what I can't remember what Sam's hawks mean, but mine's, when they show up for me, usually it's not one, it's a whole bunch of them. And I know that symbolizes protection for me. Um, mm-hmm. Heem, you have any, also, Heem, you got any animals that follow you? Also, I've been telling you guys, I feel like Setmit is back again, because I've been seeing the cats a lot. So the Setmit energy is definitely back again. She started popping up right before the new moon. And I think bass energy is also cats, but I definitely know the Setmit energy was coming in. Okay, Kimori, one question above, then closing argument. Okay. Who's the question from? I can feel it. Trudy, do you know who the question was from? You alive, Mona. Thank you. Yeah, I see it. Okay, so Sam said, okay, protection too. 808. Look at that. Did y'all have 88 in y'all things? Trudy, I don't see the question, Trudy. I'm looking. Did I miss a question? I don't see it. Okay, Bree. Okay, Bree. Okay. Let me see. Bree said, I've been surrendering and I speak something when I'm bathing, but I don't know how to identify it. Wait, like, Bree. Okay, so Bree. Um, okay, so Bree. The only thing you need to know, Bree, is just connect with it, right? And as you connect with it, Bree, you can even hear faint whispers of what it means. You may not even be able to figure it out once it's giving you a release. And you can ask. You can ask to help me to understand. I've gotten to the point now where I can come in and out and I know, I know what it means because I know I'm communicating back and forth. But the more that you do it, Bree, the more that you tap into it, it's going to become second nature. What you're doing, Bree, is waking up your archaic memory. So this is not something that's separated from you. This is a part of who you are. We have 19 people in and nine thumbs up. So that's what? Look at that. That's a sequence there, right? So know that, Bree. All right. Cats. Okay. Okay. So him, look up Setmit. Look up the goddess deity Setmit. And Bass. BAS and Setmit. Okay. Dragonflies. Oh, dragonflies are mine too. Him, dragonflies all day long. Yep. Kelly Kells is not on here, but I have two dragonflies that come check me every summer. And that's Kelly Kells' relative. I didn't really start seeing them until I tapped into her mother. Like her mother comes and visit me in the form of a dragonfly. Um, Look up Setmit and Bass energy. Cardinals, really? Okay, Bree, look that up. Spiritual. So I told you guys, when you're looking up these energies, please do not go with the first one. If it doesn't feel right to you, move on. If it doesn't feel right, move on. You are not supposed to agree with anything that doesn't feel right. Your spirit will let you know what feels right. If it doesn't feel right, you move on to the next explanation. You move on to the next one until it resonates with you, okay? Please remember that. And so, all 23 of y'all that's on here and everyone that's getting something from this video, please know we set this appointment up. So me showing up here is to help you guys remember. I'm only here to help you guys remember and to help wake myself up, okay? So all of this was already predestined. We made an appointment to be here at this time and to support each other, okay? So please understand that. This was already divinely timed. And I am going to do a video to tell you guys how you can change your birth chart, okay? Oh, really? The cardinals show up. Kimberly, research what that means. I've been getting a lot of really woodpeckers. Okay, now. Heme. My mind went somewhere left with that heme. So left heme. Woodpeckers. That's that nasty Scorpio. My Scorpio mind went way left with that heme. Okay. Red cardinal sparrow. Okay. Now they're not. Okay, Fraz by my cat. Okay. Okay. Oh. All right. But Kimberly, what's the cat saying, Kimberly? Because Kimberly, just so y'all know, Kimberly's a mystical mind. Who's Kimberly? Mystical mind, her spiritual guide, one of her spiritual guides is her cat. And the cat lives in the house with her. Okay? So, has your cat been saying anything lately on Mystical Mind? Who's Kimberly? Thank you, Bree. I'm gonna talk to y'all till my battery, my battery's about to die. Then I'm gonna wrap it up. So if y'all don't have any more questions, let me just give you guys the rundown. You are so welcome, Jasmine. Oh, thank you, Jasmine. Let me give y'all the rundown. So tomorrow we do Relationship Chronicles. Okay, we come on at 1:30 with Relationship Chronicles, guys. We talk about life. We talk about sex. We talk about relationships. We talk about what we need to do for our healing so we can attract the right person and the right people into our experiences. Okay, we don't only focus on the bullshit and on the pain, but we focus on what we need to do to bring healing and wholeness to ourselves. Okay, so that's Relationship Chronicles. That's 5 days a week. Okay, from 1:30 to 2:30. I will be doing some more lives. The other signs will be live tomorrow also, so you guys can always jump back on. I'm going to be doing the other lives because you should be mastering all 12 of the zodiac signs, not just yours. Oh, you're making muffins, Sam? I baked some cupcakes yesterday for my baby. The next meditation is going to be the full moon, but I don't have the time or the date on that yet, so I will let you guys know in the next live. If you are interested in any of the meditations, I do meditations on the full moon and I do meditations on the new moon. These are meditations where we do Reiki energy healing. We go through your chakra systems. We also go through your sacred space. So if you don't know where your sacred space is or how to get to it, we go there. I take you there, and you either create your sacred space or you tap into your sacred space. Okay, and this space is always available to you. All right, guys. I also do light language in the meditation as I release the energy healing. So if you guys are interested in joining, just check the description